Hello, everybody. Hello, it is 1 p.m. Um, on a Friday. So exciting and wow. It is wow. Okay, this is lesson number 5. This is so amazing. It's wow. It has been a week since we've started with grade 7 home language. Yes, you are in the right place. This is grade 7 English home language. I welcome everybody. I see everyone is coming in. Welcome. You are right on time. And this is the best thing for you to do for the next hour to join this lesson. It's going to be good. It's going to be amazing. And I can promise you that if you listen and you understand everything from today's lesson, it will really help to make you a better communicator, even with your WhatsApps. Yes, I do promise you that those chances of people asking you what do you mean will really be minimized. Yeah, I can really promise you that. I can promise you that. So in today's lesson, what are we doing? We'll be doing punctuation marks, and we will be focusing on four of them, which are the most basic punctuation marks. It is full stop, comma, question marks, as well as exclamation marks. Okay, so yes, thank you everybody for being part of today's lesson. It's going to be good. I'm telling you. It is a Friday, and we thought because it is a Friday, let it be a topic which is as exciting as the day itself. Right, in the previous lesson, in lesson number 4, we learned about the key features of a newspaper article. You remember? Not only that, we also read a newspaper article and we answered a questions based on it. And it really was great. It was amazing. If you are not there, I can really say that you missed out. But you can check it on YouTube and catch up so that you can see what it is that you missed out on. So the key features of a newspaper article is the headline, which is a few words that tries to attract the interest of the reader by telling the reader what the story is about in a short and interesting way. Number 2, it is the byline, which tells us about who wrote the article. Number 3 is the introduction, which sets the scene and summarizes the main point of the article. Number 4 is the body, which provides more details about the event, right? Number 5 is the quotes, which tells us what a person has said, while number 6 is the photograph and the caption. Right, remember we are on punctuation. Can you imagine how difficult it would have been to make sense of written words and to understand them without punctuation? I mean, just think about that for a moment. Just think about it. That you read anything and it does not have any punctuation marks on it. Even if it is your favorite novel or your favorite book, you know, you read your favorite novel, you read your favorite book, or maybe you read a long text from your favorite friend or family member or whoever, you know. How do you think it's going to be to read something like that without any punctuation marks? Mm. For me, I can really tell you that it was really going to be horrible. I mean, reading itself is work, and imagine on top of that, you have to figure out what that person is really trying to say, and you do not have those mind reading powers like your favorite superhero to be able to know what that person is trying to say. Yeah, it's really something. Hey, it's really something. It really gets frustrating. So yes, punctuation marks really are like road signs. Okay, I mean, on the road we have stop signs, we have traffic lights, we have yield signs, we have speed humps. We have the T junctions and all these things. Okay, so imagine if on the road these things were not there. Okay, imagine the number of road accidents. That which will be happening, pedestrians being knocked over, cyclists being knocked over, motorists crashing into each other's cars, crashing into buses, crashing into trucks. Imagine the number of people who would be dying because of that. It's really so uncomfortable and so scary to think about it. But really, that is what happens when we ignore punctuation marks, right? So if you ignore punctuation marks, you ignore them at your own peril. So yeah, imagine that. Imagine how that was really going to be. So it was really going to be dangerous for everybody. Okay, so yes, remember guys, if you will have questions or you need clarifications, please raise your hand and I will give you a chance so that I will give you a chance. I will unmute your mic and then you can be able to ask a question. You can be able to speak. Okay, yes. So we are still on punctuation, remember? So guys, it is very important that you do not ignore punctuation marks when you read, and it is also important that you do not ignore punctuation marks when you write. Okay, well, whether you are reading or whether you are writing, punctuation marks are really that important. Okay, ignoring punctuation marks may lead to misunderstandings, right? And I really have an example here to show you how easy it is to be misunderstood if you do not punctuate your ratings. Right. Okay, let us say what you want to say is will be fine. Okay. Let me highlight it. I wrote it in yellow font. So what you want to say, okay, sorry. I forgot that I'm on full screen, so I really can't highlight anything. So, anyways, let us say you want to say will be fine. Okay, and this is how you write will be fine, right? So instead of writing it the way I wrote it in yellow, you wrote it in blue. When we read it in blue, what do we read? It is not will be fine, but is will be fine. Okay, so if you did text that to me, chances are I would be confused, I will not know what is it that you really were trying to say. I mean, well, be fine. Who's well? I will be thinking who's well. I will be thinking of various possibilities of the things that which you may have been trying to say, and I will not be able to know which one of those possibilities could be the correct one. Okay, so really cut people who read your text some slack and punctuate. You'll see that if you use punctuations, the chances of you being misunderstood they will be reduced. Okay, so yes, make this to be an experiment. Okay, even today after this lesson, when you are going to post on your social media page, when you're going to text your friends, your classmates, whoever you'll be texting today, punctuate. Okay, use question marks where appropriate, use full stops where appropriate, the comma, the exclamation marks. I will tell you that if you could write like that, whoever will be reading your text, they will feel like they are there with you, and it will make them feel like they are there with you, and it will almost feel like a voice note to them. It will not feel like a text that which they read. Okay, so please, guys, I would like to encourage you that please use punctuation marks. I really feel so. I don't know. This is a touchy subject. In the case of you can really be misunderstood trying to communicate something which is very important simply because you did not punctuate. Okay, so please punctuate. It will really help to make you a better communicator. I mean, imagine right now if you are going to write a text, a very important text to somebody who's very prominent. Okay, to someone who's prominent, someone who's very rich and famous, and they're busy. Yes, if they interpret what you're saying to be gibberish, then they really take it as gibberish and they may not really give you a second chance. They may not really give your text a second chance. No, and another thing is that when you read the written, when you use written text, when you write something and you send it to someone, what you wrote becomes your representative. Okay, so it represents you. So you can just think of your words as being your lawyer. Okay, I mean, you wouldn't want to be represented by somebody who's not well qualified. You will not want to be represented by someone who you know that if they represent you, you will lose the case. Okay. So it is also the same with these guys. Okay. Let your words represent you best. Let your word be best so that they will be able to represent you in the best way possible. You owe that to yourself, okay, to have your words to represent you. Okay, I think that's enough. Let us go to the first one. So remember, guys, if you have a question, please do not hesitate to ask. We are here to help you. I am here to help you. There is no question which I can say is stupid. Every question that which you have about what you are doing, I tell you that I will welcome it, and I will welcome it, and I will also get to it so that I will be able to get to it and answer it and help you out. The reason why we are here, the reason why I'm here is you. I do not know what I will be doing if it was not for you, but I wouldn't be here. The reason I'm here is you, okay? So help me to help you, okay? Yes. All right. Okay. So let us get on with it. The first question is mark, which is the most basic question. Mark, which is the most basic question. So we know that today is not a Thursday, right? So in this example, I said today is the first Thursday of the month. Then I put the full stop at the end, And the way the full stop, it is so important. You realize you can even do it right now that if you can text this, if you can write today is the first on your tablet, and after writing month, you press the space button 2 times, you realize that it will make the full stop for you. Okay, why? Because it takes it that that is the end of the sentence. Therefore, it will put a full stop for you if you press the space button 2 times on your smartphone or on your tablet. You can try it right now even. Tell me, am I right or am I wrong? Is it only my phone which does that, or can your phone also do that? Okay, yes, I think all phones do that. Okay, I think all phones do that. I really am not stop beginning of the next sentence. Right, so okay, this is what we have. I said today is the first of the month, therefore tomorrow is Friday. So even if you can write the second one, you type today is the first Thursday of the month, and then you do not write the full stop, but you tap your space bar of 2 times. It will write that if you write the T for therefore, it will write it in a capital letter. All right. Therefore, comma, tomorrow is Friday. After you have written Friday and you tap your space bar twice on your smartphone or on your tablet, it will write a full stop for you. Okay, I see Kia on the chat saying that I'm right. Thank you so much, Kia. I'm glad it is not only my phone which does that. Which does that. Your phone also does that, and I am also convinced that it also does that for the phones of everybody else. Yes, so this is how important the full stops is, right? I mean, can you imagine reading your favorite novel without full stops? It was really going to dampen the mood of that book, you know. I mean, you are reading that book to appreciate what you have to appreciate the story of the book, You are not reading the book there to proofread or okay, guys, I apologize about that. I apologize about that. Anyway, where were we? We were on, okay, full stop. I was saying that a full stop is also used for abbreviations. I hope everybody can hear me now. Mm-hmm. So I said a full stop is used for abbreviations. DR full stop, it means doctor. Mm, Seems like my internet connection is affected by the Friday vibe. I don't know. Sorry about that, guys. I'm very, 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 very sorry. Okay, we are done with the full stop. Let us go to the comma. Remember, guys, if there is a question that which you may be having, please do not hesitate to ask a question. Do not hesitate. I'm here for you. I am here to help you. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. But because of you here, then I'm also here so that I can be able to help you. Right. So, comma. A comma is a punctuation mark used to separate words, phrases, or clauses in a list. Okay, I will read that again. A comma is a punctuation mark used to separate words, phrases, or clauses in a list. For example, there are classes for English, comma, mathematics, and natural science. So you realize there that English, mathematics, and natural sciences are different subjects, different classes. Therefore, we use the comma to separate them. Okay, so there are classes for English, comma, mathematics, and natural science. So that comma there, it serves to show us that English and mathematics, they are not the same things. Okay, they are two different things, and by using that comma, we are separating them to show that okay, these things are different. Okay, so therefore we are separating them with a comma. All right. So commas are also used to separate two or more adjectives in a row before a noun. Okay, so there is an example. You are enthusiastic, comma, bright learners ready to learn. Okay. Oh, and okay, this is true about you. Yeah, this is true about you. I wrote this example with you in mind. Okay. Yeah. Okay. You can claim that I wrote this with you in mind. So yes, you can see that here we used a comma to separate the two adjectives. What are the adjectives here? Remember, these two adjectives, they're different, right? It is the first adjectives. The first adjective is enthusiastic. The second adjective is bright. Okay, so because they are different, I had to separate them by using the comma. You all understand? If you are lost or you need clarification, please, guys, I am here for you. The chat is open, so please use it. Okay, commas are placed before quotation marks surrounding the spoken words when writing direct speech in a sentence. Right? Yes. There's an example there. He said, comma, there's a space there, quotation mark. This lesson is my favorite, full stop, close with a quotation mark. I really hope this is true about you, that you view this lesson, grade 7 home language English, as your favorite lesson. I would be glad if that is what you think about it. And thank you so much in advance for thinking that way. Okay, so you can see here how the comma was used. Okay, so here the comma was used before the quotation marks, and these quotation marks, they surround the spoken words of this direct speech in this sentence. Are we all together, guys? Remember, if you have a question, if there's something you do not understand or you need clarification, the chat is open for you to ask, or you can raise your hand and I'll give you a chance to speak. All right. Okay. Next punctuation mark is the question mark. Yeah. Okay. So what is a question mark? Okay, there's a question mark. And okay, before we get into it, I think I can comment to say, I don't know if you will agree with me, but I can comment to say a question mark is really one of those punctuation marks that is really the least used, although it really was supposed to be one of the most commonly used ones. I mean, you will just wake up in the morning and you open your WhatsApp and you find somebody greeting you saying, "Good morning, how are you?" But then the "how are you" doesn't have a question mark at the end to really show that it is a question, right? Yes. Anyways, question marks, okay? So a question mark is a punctuation mark that is used at the end of a direct question. Okay, so if there is a sentence with a question mark at the end, we know that that sentence is a question. It is a direct question. So question marks, they help us to identify a sentence to be a question. Okay. So without a question mark, it is very difficult to identify a question to be a question. Let me say that again. Without a question mark, it becomes difficult to identify a sentence to be a question. Okay, so that is why it is so important, guys. That is why it is so important that for every direct question, for every sentence which is a question, please use a question mark at the end. Okay, and the way I really felt so touched about this one, you realize that I gave so many examples for it. Because yes, guys, sometimes you really need help from someone and you have to ask them and you do not use a question mark. So I mean, people are not the same. Sometimes if you just text a person a question without including a question mark, they may just take it to be a statement, and you realize that they will not answer it and they will just blue tick your text. So we try to minimize that from happening by using the question mark at the end of your question. Okay, number one is what is your name? Okay, so you realize that if I said what is your name, but then I did not write the question mark, then you may really ignore me if I was texting you that. Okay, so what is your name? Put a question mark at the end so that the reader can see that, oh, you really are asking for their name. Second one, where are you from? Where are you from? Question mark. Why are you here? Question mark. How did you do it? Question mark. When are you going there? Question mark. Which one do you prefer? Question mark. So you realize that this question mark here, it is so important. It really it really does play a very important role in all these sentences to turn them into questions. So please do remember that, guys. Remember this, that is how important this is, okay? This is very important stuff. Please use a question mark at the end of every question that which you ask when you write, okay? Whether it doesn't matter what you write, okay? You realize that it will really go a long way. It will minimize the chances of you being ignored. I mean, I don't know, guys, but it seems like there really is something about the question mark. It is very difficult for a person to ignore a sentence which is written with a question mark at the end. I think you can try it today. Okay, after this lesson, just text anybody and have a question mark at the end. Ask somebody anything, and you will see how difficult it is to really, how difficult it is to really ignore a statement with a question mark at the end. Okay, so let us move to the. Okay, and even I just made an experiment in the chat right now. Let me see if I'm correct. Anyway, by the way, let us go to the next one, which is the exclamation mark. I think this is the last punctuation mark for our lesson today. Okay, so the exclamation mark, a punctuation mark that is you. Okay, so an exclamation mark is a punctuation mark that is used in a sentence that expresses a strong or a forceful emotion, such as anger, surprise, or joy. I will read that again. An exclamation mark is a punctuation mark that is used in a sentence that expresses a strong or a forceful emotion, such as anger, surprise, or joy. Okay. Another thing is that an exclamation mark, it appears at the end of exclamations, commands, and interjections. Right? I have a couple of examples there. There's the first one. Objection. I think you may have heard that somewhere in those series or in those movies where they are in the courtroom, right? Somebody, a witness will be saying something, and then one lawyer will just stand up and say, objection. So that really is a very strong emotion, right? It is a very strong emotion of yeah, it is a very strong emotion. It is an interjection, so to say, because they say objection as a way to disturb, or um as a way to interject, as a way to get in the middle of something. Someone would just say objection. Okay, yes. Another example, get out of here. Okay, no, that is not the way you say it. Get out of here. Okay, so you realize that get out of here, it is also a strong emotion. So the emotion here is most likely anger. I mean, when you are angry, somebody's making you angry, and someone is making you angry, and you want them to really get out of your face. So that is something you will say, get out of here. So if you write it down to capture that essence of that anger, you're going to use an exclamation mark. You see? Yes. Then the third example, I got a perfect score on my English test. I mean, that one, it really expresses joy, it really expresses joy, or maybe a surprise. Maybe you really didn't expect to score that much on your English test, but you did. So you're surprised, or maybe that's what you've expected because you prepared so much for it, then you are happy. So you'll be like, woo! I got a perfect score on my English test. I mean, you are so happy. It is joy. It is a very strong emotion. Joy is a very strong emotion. You know that when you are happy, when you have joy, when you're feeling so joyous, oh, it's you really can't contain it. Okay, it's so strong. Is you just can't contain it. I got a perfect score on my English test. Yep. Okay, another example is, how could you forget my money? I mean, can you just imagine this scenario? You and I have to meet at the grocery store, or you and I have to meet somewhere, and you owe me money. You said you'll pay me at month end. It is month end. Now you come, I say, okay, where's my money? And then you tell me that you forgot it. I mean, how could you forget my money? Hmm? How could you forget my money? How could you forget my money? I mean, who forgets money anyways? Yeah, who forgets money anyway? So you realize that with this, I mean, this is an exclamation. I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised. How could you forget my money? Eh? How could you forget my money? You see? So yeah, that is how we use exclamation marks when we write down. Okay, so Okay, since with all this social distancing stuff, we are still at home. Most of us are still at home, and you can't send a voice note. You really can't speak to that person on the phone. What you have is a text. So to really capture that essence, please use the exclamation mark. Remember what I said? We use an exclamation mark to express strong emotion, a forceful emotion such as anger, surprise, joy. We use an exclamation mark also when we exclaim something, when we command, as well as when we interject. Interesting, isn't it? Right. So, if you have questions on any of these four punctuation marks, remember what are they? The full stop, the comma, the question mark, and the exclamation mark. Please ask your question. Right now, you're going to do a little activity together where we would be, okay, where we will be inserting all these four punctuation marks. Sorry, the full stop, the comma, the question mark, and the exclamation mark. So, okay, in this activity that which we are going to do together in the remaining few minutes of the lesson, we have sentences, and these sentences are not punctuated. Okay, so this is where we get to apply what we learned. Okay, so you realize that these sentences are not punctuated, so we will need to punctuate them. So there is the instruction: insert relevant punctuation marks in the following sentences. Okay, so let us do this together. Since these are written down, you can text the answers in the chat. Text the answers in the chat having punctuated them. Okay, so here's the first one. We are going home today, aren't we? Okay, can you all see this? So can you all see this? Okay, Zayan, can I please put you on speaker so that I can hear what really is the problem you are experiencing so we can know how we can fix it? Zayan, can you please raise a hand, Zayan? Okay, everybody says there is gray blocking the work on your page. Okay, yes, Zayan, what seems to be the problem?
Sir, there's like black gray on my screen. I can't see the work.
So is it on the left side or on the right side of your screen?
The right side.
The right side. Okay,
It's
maybe. Okay. How about now?
still some.
Is it
Okay,
still
it's
there?
gone. Sir.
Is it still there? Zayan, is it still there?
No, but something else happened.
Tell me what happened. I'm trying
The
to
screen,
see.
the screen went blurry.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for telling me. Let me see what I can do to remedy that. Thank you so much, Zayan. Okay, maybe if I exit the full screen of my presentation, let's see. Okay, let's see. So how about now? Can you all see, Zayan?
Yes,
How about
I
now?
can see. I can see the whole page, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Zain. Thank you for helping me to resolve that problem. I hope everybody is okay and now we all can see the screen. Thank you so much, Zain. Thank you so much for helping us with that. Okay, so that is the activity that which we are to do. Okay, so in this activity, you realize that these sentences, they are not punctuated. So we will need to add the four punctuation marks that we did in the lesson today. Okay, remember the punctuation marks we did today, the full stop, the comma, the exclamation mark, as well as the question mark. Okay, now that the screen is clear, let us answer the questions. So, what is the answer for the first one? Which punctuation marks do we use and where do we use them? You can raise your hand to speak or you can write in the chat, whichever way works for you. Remember guys, you only need to use four punctuation marks, okay? It is the full stop, the comma, the exclamation mark, as well as the question mark. Okay, so in all these 10 sentences, we need to figure out where do these punctuation marks fit. Okay, Zayen has raised the hand. The gray is back. Oh no, what is happening? I don't know. What can I do? What can I do? What can I do? Okay, I think what I can do is this. Let me just turn off my screen for now. Let me turn off my screen for now and open the other file where I wrote these questions, and then we can take it from there instead of using the slide. Okay, so please bear with me guys, please be patient. I'm sorry about this. I do not understand where the gray that which you see comes from, and I think maybe if I, okay, punctuation, the homework on punctuation is this one. Okay, I really hope I can be able to fix that. And okay, so let me share my screen now that I've opened it. So okay, we will work from the Word document for this exercise. All right, okay, there is the activity. All right, so insert the relevant punctuation marks in the following sentences. Can you all see this clearly? Let me zoom it a bit. Can you all see this clearly? Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Okay, seems like now we are back on. Everybody can see, right? So now let us do this activity. We are only left with about 6 minutes to finish it, right? So okay, remember we have to insert the relevant punctuation marks for each and every one of these sentences. Okay, all right. So for the first one, we are going home today, aren't we? So I think if you can read this one, it does sound like a question, doesn't it? Okay, so since because it sounds like a question, then there would be a question mark there. All right, there would be a, okay, let me, yeah, there would be a question mark there, and then we are going home. Okay, there would be a comma there. So it is we are going home. Okay, no, sorry, the comma goes here after today. So it will be we are going home today, aren't we? So yes, that is That is the correct punctuation marks for the first one. Okay, remember it is a question. You can see that it is a sentence in a question form. What really makes it a question is this, the antwi. This antwi, it is what we call a question tag. Okay, so when we do question forms, then we when we do question forms, you will see this. All right, okay. Number two, are we going home today? That also sounds like a question, so we put a question mark there at the end. And remember guys that we do not leave a space. Okay, immediately after the last letter you put the punctuation mark. Okay, all right. Number three, why are you doing something like this? That is also a question. What really makes you think that? Because of the word why. Okay, so why are you doing something like this? Question mark. Are we all together guys? Remember, if there's something you do not understand, maybe if I have lost you, or maybe you think I'm wrong, or whatever the case may be, please raise your hand or use the chat. All right, we are only left with 4 minutes now. Let's continue and be done with this. So number four, get out. So get out really sounds like a command. Get out, it sounds like something that somebody will say when they are angry. Therefore, the only punctuation mark we can use here is the exclamation mark. Okay, get out. You see? Yes. Then for number five, did you buy the flour, eggs, butter, and caster sugar to bake cookies? So you can see here, because of the word did you, this becomes a question. And we can see here they have listed several things. Therefore, we are going to need to use a comma to separate these things, right? Okay. So we know that this is a question. So let's put the question mark at the end there. Then let us see how we separate all these things which are listed. So is did you buy the flour, comma, eggs, comma, butter, comma, okay, no, butter, all right, and caster sugar to bake cookies. All right, so okay, now we can read it again. Did you buy the flour, eggs, butter, and caster sugar to bake cookies? Aha, now that's correct. You can move on to number six. All right, now we can move to number six. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet are the colors of a rainbow, right? So you can see also here that there is a list of items. So in this case, it is the list of the colors of a rainbow, right? So since this is a statement, it is not a question, it is not an exclamation at all. It is just a simple statement. It is just, something you will find in your natural science textbook. So it will end with a question. Sorry, it will end with a full stop, right? So it will be red, comma, orange, comma, yellow, comma, green, comma, blue, comma, indigo, and violet are the colors, sorry, are the colors of a rainbow. Okay, that's good. Then let us go to number seven. Okay, number seven, I think it really has two ways to go about it. Okay, so I will write those two ways. Sometimes, sometimes it can be like me, I'm just asking you politely. I'm asking you politely, so I'm saying, please sit down. Okay, I'm asking you politely. Or it can be something to the effect of, maybe then I'm angry because you don't want to sit down. You are in class and you are going here and there. You are like a headless chicken, and I'm like, please sit down, you know, because I'm angry and yeah. So that's number seven. Those are two ways to go about it. There's the comma there as well. Number eight, I told her about it, but she did not believe me. So this sounds like a statement that you say when you're neutral. You are not angry. You are not. There's no forceful emotion here. So you can say, I told her about it, comma, but she did not believe me. Full stop. That's straightforward enough, right? Okay, then number 9, in 2020, the global population found itself under the lockdown due to the COVID-19. So we can say in 2020, comma, the global population found itself under the lockdown under the lockdown due to COVID-19. Full stop. That is a statement, right? Yes. The last one, we need to wash our hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer after being in contact with people, surfaces, or objects. Okay. So this sounds like a statement. So it will end with a full stop. Then let's go again. We need to wash our hands with soap and water, right? Comma, or use an alcohol-based sanitizer after okay after being in contact with people, comma, surfaces, or objects. So yes, we are done with our activity. We were able to punctuate it, and you realize that if you read it with the punctuation in it, it really makes sense and it becomes easier to read it, and it also becomes easier to understand it. Okay, we have a hand from Za. Oh, I thought we had a hand from Zayan. Okay, let me stop share just for a moment so we can go back to our PowerPoint. Okay, so guys, this is the end of our lesson. Unfortunately, this is the end of our lesson. I hope everybody understood what we are doing. I hope everybody enjoyed the lesson as much as I enjoyed presenting it. Thank you so much for participating. Zayan, thank you so much again for for helping us to really deal with that gray area which made everything to be blurry. Thank you so much. I didn't know. Okay. So next week there will not be classes for STEM lockdown. Okay, classes for STEM lockdown, they will be back around the 17th of June. So yes, STEM lockdown will be closed for a week. We'll be back on the 17th. Okay, yes. But if it happens that if it happens that you need my help or something, I have just wrote my email in the chat, and you can use it to communicate with me to ask whatever that which can really help you with. Okay, so remember, guys, you can still follow us on social media, speak to us on social media. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Use the hashtag lockdown eSchool hashtag. Speak to us, talk to us so we can be able to better help you. Thank you guys for becoming part of the lesson. I will see you again on that other week of the 17th. I'm going to miss you. Please keep well, take care, stay safe, stay home. Keep doing your schoolwork. Take care. Have a wonderful weekend from all of us here at STEM Lockdown Digital School. We love you. We say take care. Goodbye.